We're almost halfway through the year, and a lot of people are running on empty without fully realizing it. Grow Therapy helps you find care that's covered by insurance before burnout becomes the baseline. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits you, not the other way around. They connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. And if something comes up, you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 100 insurance plans, including Medicaid in some states. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/booknow to get started. That's growtherapy.com/booknow. growtherapy.com/booknow. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
JubyLee Bakes actually gives them confidence, gives them a sense of self-worth, gives them visibility in the community, and just knowledge that they can make a difference.
G'day, I'm Debra Caldow, and welcome to the Expanding Worlds podcast, where the focus is on helping you, as you support your young person with additional needs, plan for their future. A future where they're safe, secure, and live a rewarding and fulfilling life. From around the world, I share stories and I share solutions from people making this happen right now. I'm a parent of a young person with additional needs, so I understand the challenges. Many of the people I've interviewed on this podcast have already helped me design a better future for my daughter, and I hope that they might help you as well to imagine what's possible for your young person. One of the things that can help remind us that we're not alone is hearing other people's stories. Shared experiences is one of the most valuable tools we have, not just to share practical knowledge, but to give us emotional support, and most importantly, remind us what's possible. So over the next 3 episodes, I'm sharing some stories. It all revolves around one place, which is called JubyLee Bakes. As the name suggests, this is a bakery providing purpose to many young people, and I think providing hope for the future for the families of those young people as well. My first guest is Ellen Tomlinson, who's the general manager at JubyLee Bakes and also one of the founders. So enough from me, let's hear her story. Can we start off by talking a little bit about you and then find out more about what you do at JubyLee Bakes?
Sure. So I started working life as a GP, but with having Simon, the journey of my life post-retirement from general practice has transitioned into managing JubyLee Bakes. As you and probably most of your listeners are aware, in the UK more than 90% of adults with learning disability don't have any long-term work, and I didn't want Simon to be part of that depressing statistic, and a group of other mums with children in a similar position also didn't want their children to be part of that depressing statistic. So we got together and we wondered what we could help them to set up that would give them meaningful work and purpose.
But why a bakery?
Everyone loves to eat cakes and bakes, and the making of them is almost as fun as the eating of them. It's something that all of our young people already had some skill with.
So take me back to the beginning of that journey, deciding to do it. What was the first steps?
So after we formed the idea, we knew that in order to make it a viable business, we needed quite a lot of capital. And at that point, we entered our team into something called Young Startup Talent for young entrepreneurs. And most of the other entrepreneurs were mainstream college students. They all had great ideas, but that particular year they judged us to be the best team. So we received £50,000 worth of funding, both in terms of business support as well as just cash funding. And with that, we were able to set JubyLee Bakes up as a community interest company. In being a community interest company, somewhat limited our access to applications for grant funding. And that's why we converted to being a charity.
What were the biggest challenges you found at the beginning?
So our baking premises. So in the beginning, we had to use what we could scrounge, really. We rented a school kitchen and we rented a college kitchen, all of which had to be outside of their normal use hours. So it really limited the time that we could bake in the kitchen, as well as the fact that we had to clean down these kitchens to 5-star hygiene standards. Before we started, we had to bring in all the ingredients and all the equipment. Then we had to take everything away and put everything back as it was. The whole process was really quite laborious.
Where did you start to find customers?
After the publicity of winning Young Startup Talent, the judges themselves were very kind and helpful in terms of signposting us, and our first customers were really quite high profiles, or all of whom had known about us, at least indirectly, through Young Startup Talent.
What do you do in terms of adapting the recipes?
We tend to stick with products that we know are universally popular, as well as being uncomplicated to make, as well as having good keeping qualities. And they need to be products that our young people want to make as well. And once we have found something that fulfills all of those criteria, we adapt the standard type recipes that you would find online or in any book or magazine, and we ensure that we use the very best ingredients that we can, and usually more of it. So we always use real butter, we always use fresh real lemons, we use the best Belgian chocolate that you can get. So we do not skimp on ingredients. And because of that, the end product is inevitably really rather delicious. But we will, with each new recipe, we will put it out to the team for constructive criticism, and we will improve on each recipe as much as we can before we send it out.
How's the business going?
It's going really well. Income from the sale of our bakes and the catering that we do easily covers the cost of ingredients and most of our ancillary items like cleaning and packaging, and some of our electricity costs, but not all. We are fortunate that everyone gives of their time voluntarily. No one is salaried.
Would that be the aim eventually, that people would be paid?
That was the original vision that our young people would be able to be paid, but because we actually have so many, in order to be able to pay them a minimum wage for the time that they spend here would necessitate us having a turnover of between £6,000 to £10,000 a month, which is a big ask for the relatively slow, small turnover, because every bake that we send out has actually been made by our young people, whereas in order to be able to scale up, we would have to move into a model where some of the time the kitchen is run by workers without additional needs who are able to work and produce bakes much faster. Other additional needs groups are either just plain businesses and they get their funding through either social services or they are funded through EHCPs. So that limits the age to 25. We have older. We have some younger, but we also have older. So that's how it is. It's not a great model because it relies solely on goodwill and volunteer time. But it's the sustainability of running it. That's the difficulty. You can't run purely on just parent power.
How many people do you actually support at the moment?
It's between 18 to 20. Over the years, a couple have moved into part-time paid employment. It's a real joy to see our young people fly, and it's great that JubyLee Bakes actually gives them confidence, gives them a sense of self-worth, gives them visibility in the community, and just knowledge that they can make a difference.
Ellen's story is not only a reminder of the lengths that we'll go to for our children, but the value of community and the resilience that we all find when we need it most. It was a genuine privilege to speak to her. Oh, and the brownies weren't too bad either. In the next episode, I'm talking to Julie, another one of the amazing people involved with JubyLee Bakes. In her support role, she has some real insights worth hearing about the impact that having a purpose can have on our young people. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope that the stories and solutions shared on here help you as you support your young person to create their future. If you'd like to support the podcast, then visit my Buy Me a Coffee page at buymeacoffee.com/expandingworlds. Or you can connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn at Debra Caldow. I'd love to have a conversation with you on any of the topics we all care about. Bye for now.